Well, hi kids, Pastor Al here. Glad to be back with you. Well, sort of live. I mean, last week I was out of town. You got an oldie but goodie children's sermon, but this one I'm recording 2 days before you're going to get to see it. So there you go. But that said, I'm going to actually show you a video that's a little unusual. One, I showed it to you about a year ago, but I want to show it to you again because I think it's perfect for what I want to say today. And you may not realize it, but I actually do try to say something in my children's sermon that kind of relates to the adult sermon that I'm going to be preaching on Sunday. And two, it's not about dogs. In fact, if there are any cat lovers out there, and I know there's one, you're going to be really excited about this because this is about cats. So let me show you a story of a guy who had his life radically changed in a moment and had a really tough decision, but made the right one.
Look. Kitty, kitty. He's on the side of the road. Getting killed for sure. Someone just... Oh no, it's a whole... Oh my gosh! I can't take you all. Oh my God. We got a kitten problem. I'm not able to... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Who would do this? I thought I'd save him one. Hot diggity dog. Tactical Honda was not prepared for this. Give them a good little bath. We're going to dry them off and put them in their new bed. So they're doing really good, but this here is Scout, one of the first ones. We're going to clean them up, and we got some more news for y'all, so stay tuned, follow along, and join us on the journey. Everyone's been asking for an update. Kittens are doing great. Lazy things. Got Milo, got Ruby Jean, and you know we got old Scout here. These are the three we keeping from the litter that ambushed me. Scoundrels. These three are also the most playful. They play with each other. Y'all been wanting a kitten update? They usually playing or sleeping. One of the two.
Now imagine you're driving down the road, got all sorts of things planned for today. You see one little kitten in the road, you decide, I better stop and try to do something, and all of a sudden you got 13 kittens around your feet. What do? Do you leave them there? I got to tell you, friends, picking up 13 kittens and taking them home is kind of a life-changing decision, if only for, 2 or 3 months. But you heard the guy say it. He couldn't possibly just leave them there to get eaten, to get killed, to be run over in the road. So he puts aside everything else he was going to do. He makes a personal sacrifice, and he takes them home to care for them, to raise them. Probably had to take them to the vet. 13 cats at a vet visit is not a cheap thing. And I have to say, props to that dog who was there, who seems to have taken 13 new kittens at his house in stride. But this guy's pretty cool because, you know what? He wasn't planning on making a sacrifice to do something good, but it just came into his life. And when it did, well, he had to do it. And that's the kind of person I think God wants us to be, to not worry about just what works for us, but when we have an opportunity to do good, when a circumstance comes into our life, well, we respond. Talking with your parents today about a guy named Boaz. You probably have never heard of him before. He married a woman named Ruth. They became the great-grandparents of King David, and they became the great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents of Jesus. And he has this poor woman come into his life who has nothing, but he has a connection with her. And he goes out of his way to do what's right, to take care of her, to take care of her mother-in-law, to give them food when they need food, and actually to make sure that this woman has a son that will carry on his name and his line. It costs him money, probably costs him good money, but he doesn't care because he does what's right. Now, sometimes these days you hear a phrase called do the right thing, and it's kind of a poor substitute for what the Bible talks about as the covenant love we're supposed to have and the kindness we're supposed to have. Because a lot of times when people say that, when they say do the right thing, what they really mean is do the thing I want you to do. But you know what? Often we do know what the right thing is to do. And most of the time when we have to do the right thing, it's not cheap. It costs us something. We have to sacrifice our desires. We have to sacrifice our time. We may have to spend our money. We may have to go way out of our way to do the right thing. But you know what? In the long run, nothing else matters much more than that, other than maybe, giving God glory because of it. So I just want you all to think about the fact that, we need to be the people who pick up the kitties. The reality is, well, most of the time things like this come into our life, they don't look like 13 cute kittens. They look like that person who just needs a friend, the one individual that needs help. The opportunity you might have in a workplace someday to stand up for what's right when other people around you are doing what's wrong. We need to make sure that we do the right thing when the opportunity comes to us, and make the sacrifices we need to do what God wants us to do, and to honor God and give him glory by our actions. Friends, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you enjoyed some stuff at the fair, and we'll see you next week. Bye.